Kshama Swant is a new member of the Seattle City Council and a member of the Socialist Party. Seattle.gov/council is the website. And Kshama, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Tell us, what is a socialist in your mind?
First, I wanted to just make a small but important correction. I'm not a member of the Socialist Party. I'm a member of Socialist Alternative.
Okay, great.
Which is a nationwide organization of social and economic justice activists. And a simple way of understanding socialism is that socialism is a way of organizing society such that it is possible to use the abundant resources, natural and technological, in order to deliver a very high standard of living to all human beings in an environmentally sustainable way. And the best way to understand that is to see what we have today under capitalism, where enormous wealth is being generated, but the goal of the system is to maximize the returns for a very small group of individuals at the very top, the most elite, and the rest of us struggle with really rapidly decreasing standards of living.
Absolutely agree. And I'd like to reduce that to actual policy considerations. How do we do that? First, though, you mentioned the group that you're a member of. I should have had that written down. I'm sorry I don't. You want to give me the website for that as well?
Absolutely. It is www.socialistalternative.org. And I would invite all your listeners to visit our website. And, you asked a very good question. Concretely, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. And I would like to start by giving a very live example. You know that we ran our campaign calling for a $15 an hour minimum wage in Seattle. We know that there's $15 initiative in SeaTac, a neighboring city, where the international airport exists, has just passed $15 an hour. There's a huge momentum all around the nation, and to that end, we are organizing grassroots efforts in Seattle, and we are launching a big grassroots campaign in Seattle called 15now.org. So if people want to go to 15now.org, they'll find information that we're organizing, and we want people from all over the country to be involved in different ways, but especially people from Seattle. And socialists fight for things that most working people will support: a living wage, healthcare, a decent standard of living, safe neighborhoods, a good environment, nutritious food, everything. But what makes socialists different and what sets us apart is the understanding that, first of all, in order to win any of these things, you have to go against the power of corporations, against the super wealthy, and so you have to be willing to pick the side. You have to say, yes, if I am to really fight for these things for my fellow workers, for my family and friends, then that means that I am going to go against the power of big business. And the way to do that, the most effective way to do that, is to do it in an organized way. So, not only unions and the labor movement, but even unorganized workers, people in the community can come together and bring all their strength together and sort of, have a laser-sharp focus on winning any of these demands. The other thing that sets us apart is that we don't just fight for these reforms. While we are fighting for these reforms, we are very careful to tell everybody around us that, look, we'll fight for these reforms. We may be successful getting them, but the fact is that capitalism, the way it works, these reforms will be snatched away from us. In the next generation will be facing the same issues. Look at how often women are having to fight for the same rights over and over again, reproductive rights. This is what capitalism does. So we need not only to fight for major reforms, we also need to fight to change the system.
And I'm with you. What are the guiding, the organizing principles for Socialist Alternative, and why Socialist Alternative as opposed to the traditional Socialist Party or any of the socialist organizations that are left over from the last century?
I think it is important, first of all, for us in Socialist Alternative to recognize that it is not enough to have a few hundred people that you know that agree with you, and then you go into meetings with them and you preach to the choir. No, our first task and the most important task is to go out into the community, to go out among working people, fast food workers, childcare workers, everywhere that people are struggling to stay afloat from the race to the bottom, and talk to them about the need for them to get organized. We talk to workers who are making more than 15 and tell them, look, it's important for you to be in solidarity with low-wage workers and join the fight for 15, because otherwise we are all going to end up at the very bottom. And so the way to get organized is to be in solidarity with each other. And what Socialist Alternative does is we organize within our communities, within our neighborhoods, wherever we are. So one really good example is in all our branches in Minneapolis, Seattle, Boston, in Bellingham, in Washington, we were an integral part of the Occupy movement. We don't isolate ourselves or reject other people's movements or other actions because they are not socialists. We believe that there is a lot more we have in common than our differences. And the most important thing we have to raise, that Socialist Alternative has been saying, is that working people not only need to come up in actions and win these reforms, but gain the realization that ultimately we have to fight for a new political alternative. The Democrats and the Republicans have failed us. The two-party system is not working for us. We are deeply frustrated with the political dysfunction, so it's time to get organized and have our own candidates, have our own organizations that are independent of the big parties.
Very well said. Hang on just a second.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Kshama Sawant, and the socialistalternative.org is the website, new member of the Seattle City Council. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Tom.